Okay, we will start with the phylum Echinodermata. The term was originally coined by J. Klein and it includes spiny skinned animals, for example, starfish, brittle stars, sea urchins, sea cucumbers, and sea lilies. It includes around 6,000 living species and 13,000 species they have become extinct. So, first of all, we will start with the general characters of this phylum. First of all, habitat. Where do these animals live? They're exclusively marine. They're found in seawater only. None of the terrestrial echinoderm has been reported. Next is organization. They show organ system level of organization. On all the organs, they are arranged radially because the adult shows radial symmetry in this phylum. Next is symmetry. As I told you, the adult shows radial symmetry and larvae shows bilateral symmetry. During development of the larvae, when the larvae develops into adult, this bilateral symmetry gets lost and they become radially symmetric. Next is number of germ layers are 3. That is why they are called as triploblastic. Outermost layer is known as ectoderm, middle layer is known as mesoderm, and innermost layer is known as endoderm. Next is body form. So body form and size both varies. Size varies from moderate to large size. Microscopic echinoderms haven't been reported. So they are visible through naked eye. So its size varies from moderate to large size. And shape also varies. They may be globular, round in structure, round in shape, for example in echinus. They could be heart shaped, for example echinocardium. They could be cylindrical, for example cucumaria, also known as sea cucumber. They may be star shaped, for example asterias, that's the generic name of starfish. And they could be having branched feathery arms, for example antidone. Next is body wall. Body wall is made up of 4 layers. Outermost single layered, outermost single layered epidermis followed by dermis. Then inner to dermis is musculature and inner to musculature lies ciliated peritoneum which lines the inner coelom cavity. So body wall is made up of 4 layers. Next is endoskeleton. Its endoskeleton is derived from the mesoderm. Okay, in other invertebrates which we have studied till now, the endoskeleton was derived from the ectoderm, but here in this case in echinoderms it is derived from the mesoderm, middle layer. Okay, so this endoskeleton, it is found in the second layer, dermis, and it is made up of calcareous plates also known as ossicles. These calcareous plates may be freely articulating with each other, for example in starfish and brittle star, or they could be fused to form a strong structure known as test. Okay, so these ossicles may be freely articulating, freely moving, or they could be fused. And from these ossicles, from these calcareous plates, originates the movable or immovable spines out of the body wall. Okay, so from dermis, so we will start with in dermis, there is calcareous plate or ossicles are present. From ossicles arises the spines. That is why the animal, it looks like spiny, or it gives the animal a warty or spiny appearance. That is why the name of the phylum Echinodermata, spiny skinned animals. Okay. After this, the body cavity, it is true coelom and it is enterocoelom. In phylum Porifera Coelenterata platyhelminth, coelom was absent, acoelomate. From in phylum Aschelhelminth, pseudocoelom was there, false cavity was there. In phylum Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca, true coelom was there, but the type of coelom was schizocoelom. From Echinodermata onwards, enterocoelom starts. That means the coelom is derived from the enteron, gut cavity, archintron of the gastrula. Now this coelom is made up of a fluid that contains the cell also known as coelomocytes. And what is the main function of this coelom? That's respiration, circulation and excretion. After this, this is a peculiar character in echinoderm, that's water vascular system also known as ambulacral system. It helps in feeding and locomotion of the animal. So we will study in detail about this system in next lecture. Okay, apart from this water vascular system, rest of the systems we will study a bit about, like digestive system. It is simple and complete, starts from mouth and ends in anus. Then respiration, there are different respiratory organs that are present in different echinoderms. For example, in dermal branchia are present in starfish, periosteal, peristomial gills in sea urchin, genital bursae in brittle star, etc. Next is circulatory system. It is open type, that means blood is not always confined inside the blood vessel. It comes out in open spaces known as sinuses. Heart is absent, there is no pumping organ present, and blood is colorless. No pigment is found in plasma or cells. Next is excretory system. Excretion of wastes occurs through the body wall only by the process of diffusion, and their main excretory product is ammonia. That is why they are known as ammonotalic. Nervous system is always a circum ring is present. Either, okay, these animals, they are dorsoventrally flattened, so the upper part is known as aboral and the lower part is known as oral surface. So this nervous ring could be present on the upper part, then it is known as aboral ring. If it is present on the lower side, it is known as oral ring, and from this oral ring radiates a number of radial nerves or nerve cords. There is no brain, and sensory organs are also poorly developed. Next is reproductive system. Unisexual echinoderms are seen. Unisexual means sexes are separate. There is no sexual dimorphism. Although sexes are separate, but we cannot distinguish externally, like whether this is a male starfish or this is a female starfish. We cannot extinguish them externally. That's known as sexual dimorphism. It is not clear. Next is female lays. Female is oviparous. That means it lays eggs in water. Male also sheds sperms in water. So male though these sperms and ova, they get fertilized in the water. That means fertilization is external. It doesn't occur inside the reproductive tract of the female. It occurs in water. That is why external fertilization. After fertilization, sperm and ova fuses to form zygote, and zygote starts dividing. And development is indirect. That means in the life history of echinoderm, we get to see a number of larval stages. It doesn't directly develop into an adult echinoderm. It undergoes a series of larval stages. For example, brachyolaria, Pluteus larva, Diplurula larva. There are a number of larvas that are seen in the life history of echinoderms. So development is indirect and includes larvae. Okay, few echinoderm also shows asexual mode of reproduction, which is mainly autotomy. What is autotomy? Autotomy is the regeneration of the lost body part. Okay, for example, if starfish loses one or two arms, it can regenerate it later on. So this autotomy, it is also used in self-defense. For example, it may lose an arm. Asterias is starfish. It may lose an arm in self-defense against a predator. Or they also show, some of the echinoderm also show a process of evisceration. What is evisceration? That is throwing out of the viscera. Okay, so this cucumaria, sea cucumber, in response or in self-defense to predator, the sea cucumber may eject or may expel its internal viscera, throughout its internal viscera, to make fool its predator, and later it can regenerate its viscera. So this is evisceration. So both these mechanisms, they are used in self-defense as well as it is also a mode of asexual reproduction. In next lecture, we will study about the classification of echinoderms.